My name is Maria Shiweda. I am from Namibia, but I live in the United States. I was the 6 year long assignment that Prophet TB Joshua of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, Lagos, Nigeria, had to complete before he departs on to glory. I was the case that was up for grabs those years, and he was awarded it was awarded to him. But he took a case that was on to death, and I did not know. Not until after his departure it was explained to me. Now, to start with, back in 2015, I was sick unto death. I had already given hints to my family that the end has come. The doctor had already told me that they have done all the tests that they could do on a human being on me, and I was given a business card just in case I wanted to go back. Soon after that, I would find Emmanuel TV YouTube channel. I was looking for another channel which seemed to have disappeared to this day. At the time, I did not know the role of the church in humanity. I did not know anything about deliverance, healings, or any of that. What Emmanuel TV YouTube channel did for me, the very first few clips that I watched, it introduced me to divinity. My eyes just opened. I'm talking of a day of watching a few clips. My eyes just opened. I started seeing things on the walls. I started seeing things on the floors. Things I would not normally see otherwise. Well, it went further than that. I started hearing people's conversations, people that were not in my surroundings, people that were far away. I would hear their conversations. I was in shock for reality. I was in shock of reality. Well, when people would come by, I would hear the conversations they have before they come. I will know what they are coming to do. I'll hear what they do before they come and what day they are coming. There was this one time, there was this conversation that was so strange. I was eagerly waiting for them to come by. I even pushed the clock further. That day, I pushed the clock faster. So that was one day that I thought maybe this event was not coming to pass. I went to look at the clock. I still had like 30 minutes. Right by the clock, here they were. So when people came by, I just watched in awe of it all. It was just confirmation for me. Well, I just, it was a reality. It was a reality I cannot really explain to anyone. So when I found Emmanuel TV YouTube, that was an event. An ocean of information was just opened for me. I get to experience things. I get to see things. I get to hear things. I get to know things beforehand. Today, I would like to share with you a vision that sums up the 6 years, the vision that describes the assignment that Prophet TB Joshua had on me. Back in 2016, in the course of that year, I started drinking some liquid light from above. I would look up and drink some liquid light from above. That went on throughout the course of that year and throughout the 6 years, actually. In December of that 2016, after a series of major events, I was at a place really where I was not supposed to be. I just got stuck there. That's how I came to be there. I read a good chunk of the New Testament. I sang like 2 songs, but I sang them on top of my loud. I sang my lungs out. Well, this one day, I was not sleeping. All of a sudden, my environment just changed. Everything just changed. I see a very big circle. I was standing right at the center of that circle. What appeared to be my left were 2 prophets, an apostle and a prophet. Their faces were blank. Their faces, I don't really know how to describe, but it's that look that somebody's thinking. Well, they were on the ground. They were just standing at the, like touching the line of the circumference of that circle. On what appeared to be my right side, there was nobody on the ground. There was Prophet TB Joshua. He was not on the ground. He was just, all I could see was a light pointing down straight to me, as if he was in a diving position. It was a bright white light, vast, much like the one I was drinking in the course of the year, except that he was not on the ground. Well, the only explanation I was given for that vision was that my case was assigned to Prophet TB Joshua. That was the only explanation I had. So for the next 5 years, I fought pastors, I fought prophets, I fought continents, I fought countries, I fought the richest, I fought the poorest, and everything in between. It was overwhelming at a time. There were times I would call the prayer lines to ask them to report my case to the man of God. When I did not get an answer, I would write emails just to have them to report my case to man of God. Well, it was not very easy. At all. So I do remember back in 2018, around May 2018, somebody reported my case to man of God. I do remember what happened to me. It's something I can never forget. I saw this fire and I saw for the first time, not really the first time, I knew whom I was fighting. I knew I was fighting a prophet there. There was a prophet I was fighting because I had just cut him off. December of like 6 months before. But I then get to know more. He started talking. So I get to hear. My ears just opened. My ears would open every now and then. By that time, they just opened too. So I got to hear. Well, fast forward, after a series of events and all those years in divinity, the night of June 6th, 2021, I learned about the news of Prophet TB Joshua's departure onto glory. It was so strange. I was in shock. Not so much in shock of his departure, but I was in shock because for about a month, it would be a month and a half at a time, his presence was pretty much around me, steady. Then, but then, June 1st, I had just announced that I was delivered. So it was time for celebration for me. He was right there. I was talking to him as if he was another individual in my house. Even that day, June 5th, I was talking to him as if he was another individual in my house. Like as if nothing had happened. Yet the message was all around. I would get the flashes so frequent about his departure. But again, I was kept extremely busy. So, upon hearing the news, I then emailed the Synagogue Church of All Nations, in shock that, well, he's still here. I'm talking to him as if he was another individual in my house. And at the time, another thing was going on for me. I had no control of my own body. I would sing, dance on the floor, fall down, cry. Everything was going on at one time. So I then wrote the email. As soon as I hit send on that email, I felt like the level of the little energy that I had just went lower, extremely low, like lower, almost to zero. And before I know, I feel this fire. It was as if a wave of fire just hit my face. It was burning my face so bad, but I couldn't resist it. Before I know, it was burning my left hand. And all of a sudden, the whole arm, everything just became fire in my blankets. Before I knew it, I was in a tour of lights, undescribable lights. I have seen lights before in the course of these 6 years. This time, I was not looking at the lights. It was as if my eyes were turned into liquid lights. It was as if I was flying into some space. I do not know how to explain it. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer, but it was some tour of lights. And I traveled in, I was in a tour of lights. It lasted all night long. And in the morning, when I woke up, that was the time it was then explained to me, the second portion of that vision of a circle. It said, because I was lamenting, I was looking for my human emotions. So God then said, it was all explained to me. I was well prepared. I said, okay, but Then he said it was all shown to me. Then he brought that vision back. Then I realized this man took a case that was unto death all this long. Then it was then explained to me the second portion, the second explanation of that vision, that the case was unto death, was not made available for me. My understanding was not opened to it. It was blocked, completely blocked. I mean, I have written that about that vision so many times to the Synagogue Church of All Nations. Prayer requests, I would just explain that vision. But God said it was blocked because had my understanding been opened to it, I would have withdrawn from the preparatory process. I was in shock of my reality. I was in shock of words. And to top it off, the man of God is still talking to me like nothing had happened, and I must continue with all the assignments I was supposed to be doing, completing. And I have not any control of anything. When emotions come, he simply asks me, do you want me to send more angels? And I would say yes. Before I could say yes, my hands were going like this, wiping the eyes, then I'll be laughing. That was my month of June. And even in that month of June, I even had an assignment. I had to travel miles, days away to do another assignment. And and then divinity just kept happening. Candlelight procession day, it was another light day, like a day of lights. Laying to rest, another day of lights. But I still had to do the assignments. I didn't even sleep. I think I got like 2 hours of sleep. So it was it's something that shocked me, but then he explained to me why things were the way they were, and explained to me relating the events to my life. Then I started realizing, God, what am I, you know? But it was just so strange that he took a case that was unto death. And the worst part of it, when I did not understand that vision for 6 good years, that was the part I just could not understand. But this is just an introduction. And I actually started in 2015. I started in 2016, but really I would be posting and I would be starting from the end. I'll be starting my testimony, my tribute to Prophet TB Joshua, my testimony, but I'll be starting from the end. So stay tuned. Subscribe so that you can get the notifications when I post. As of now, I think I'll be posting every 2 days or every day. One video a day at least, or every 2 days, every other day. Thank you for watching, and I am just sharing with you. I was given a green light to share with you my life in divinity. It's a lot of events that happened. I was basically just thrown into this guerrilla war that I had not even one single weapon like a baby was just thrown into a war. I had no weapon. I didn't know. The first time I read the Bible, like really reading the Bible, was that just before I got that vision. And fast forward, it's just now I'm reading it. Like I read it just recently. I read a little bit of it, but I have so much to say. I lived life in divinity. I have never visited the Synagogue Church of All Nations myself physically, but I had the privilege to talk to man of God for about 10 seconds back in 2018 and 2016. I think that was like 5 seconds, to be honest with you. I was asked, "What's your prayer request?" And I couldn't understand. I went beside myself and I tried to call the number back. No way. And shortly after that, I saw a Bible in my chest. My whole chest was just made up of a Bible, like open Bible. And that Bible, I keep seeing it all the way through. Last year, last year when I moved to the new city, my whole ceiling of the room was the Bible. It was an open Bible which I couldn't now understand because a, it's an open Bible that is above, like above. I'm looking at it, but the thing about it is I'm trying to understand how is it that I can still see when it's open like this, yet I could see the bottom of it at the same time. So it's some strange things. So I have a lot to say. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. I just wanted to share with you that vision. Again, my name is Maria Shiweda. I am from Namibia and I live in the United States. Thank you. God bless you.